I was talking to God today on a walk at work during lunch. I just went outside. I just need to clear some things. And what I initially was talking about was that I've witnessed that every time I've asked for help on ending a temptation or helping me with a facet of addiction or one of the addictions, it's gone away. Like with one of them, like the main one, okay, it's been a couple months, but like with another one that has been a very long time, it's to the point I feel not I don't even have any desire to like it just kind of disgusts me, right? And I find like and I asked him, I said, okay, so like the next thing I want to ask you because I think that's the hard part, right? Because there's so many things that I want better, but I don't want to ask because then the version of me, like, there's a part of me that knows that when I ask for this thing to be removed, it's going to be removed. And sometimes you don't want old habits to be removed, right? Like for one, like the last thing I was talking about was like, okay, I've asked for this addiction, but like now, I I understand like I want help with drinking as well, right? Well, I don't find myself to be like some sort of alcoholic, but I could still see that the addiction it's like this little fucking bug and it's still present even in regards to even in with alcohol even though that's not my main thing. That's not like the thing that I've enjoyed, and from all of college I did not enjoy that. It was only until recently. And so when I asked for that because I found that I began to look forward to the weekend so I could drink, right? And also like I would want to schedule like functions or have people come over or go somewhere. Not because I cared about spending time with my friends or because I wanted to hang out with Julianne or my fiance or because of like, I wanted to catch up or I wanted to go do fun things. It was like, oh, I'm just making up an excuse to like to be get inebriated, right? And that's why I asked for help. I was like, okay, because that's not I don't want that. You know, I want like to at the point where I can like drink, but it's not something that I like look forward to. It's like I'm going to a wedding this weekend, and it's like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a ton of free alcohol, and I'm gonna get blasted. But at the same time, it's like, shouldn't I just want to go because it's like I'm gonna have a fun time with my fiance and her friends, and that's it, right? But that's not what happens. Like it's still there. The I have detached the bug from other facets of my life, especially the main addiction. But it's still like hanging on to these other little things, these other things in my life. Even cognitions like being addicted to suffering, or being addicted to feeling bad, or being addicted to feeling like not worthy. Like it's still kind of hanging on to those things, and I could feel it. And so I told God, I was like, "Yo, this is the last. I want you to." And then, well, when I was thinking about this, I was like, this is the last one I want you to remove. But then I was like, wait, let me just ask you a better question or help with a better thing, which is I've been asking you to help with symptoms, you know, like the very, I'm so bad with like, how do I talk about this? Like, let's say your addiction is like taking testosterone. It's like I'm asking help with taking testosterone, or then your other, but you're also addicted to like eating a lot, and you're also addicted to, scrolling on your phone, or you're also addicted to like drinking a lot. And I keep asking help for those things, but I'm not asking for help for the core issue. So then I thought to myself, let me ask for help for the core issue. And the core issue being that a couple things going on. There's this part of me that I would say is about the 10% of me that I've worked really hard to make it only 10% of me. I mean, it used to be all of me, but there's this part of me now that's now just a part that still has a deep feeling of unworthiness and has a lot of doubt and a lot of fear, and is the one that will sometimes question like when I'm certain about things, or when I have the confidence, and when I feel like I'm better, sometimes that little voice will come back, and really it's just this young version of me, this version of me that needs reassurance, that needs these things, but ultimately this version of me that feels so unloved and so unworthy, and this version of me almost only feels like permissed to act when under the influence of like drugs or alcohol, right? Especially like alcohol. It's like, oh, like there's also like, and my therapist, we mean a therapist will talk about this. Like there's just like there's too deep, like there's this deep part of me that needs to be vulnerable, that wants so badly to be vulnerable, but it has a hard time doing it soberly. And then there's this other part of me that's the same part, but there's another facet of it. Is like there's also this truth that this part also has a deep need to feel understood, And when feeling misunderstood, it's hard. But it's like when I'm sober, it's like I'm having a hard time being vulnerable, which then makes it hard for me to be understood. So it's like I'm hitting these things. So in a way, the drinking and the things that act as this facilitator, which is classic, lowers inhibition. But like in this way where I am like killing two birds with one stone, where I'm permitting myself and I'm permitting this part of me to be vulnerable. And yes, the next morning I wake up and I'm so cringed out by what I did, but I'm just cringed out that I was vulnerable, that I was me. And yes, sometimes it's obnoxious, right? Because sometimes it's too. I give the kid too much candy and they tweak out. But for the most part, it's this thing of like, damn. And so I when I asked God, I said, hey, I want help with being able to be vulnerable soberly, and I want this part of me, because really that part of me is still, there's this void in that part of me that feels unworthy, and I try to fill this void with all the types of all the shit, right? But it's not gonna help. And so I'm more so giving it all to my higher power. Like, let me just keep leaning, let me keep leaning. Oh, here's another thing, let me keep leaning. Let's get it out of me and into you, right? And when I kept thinking about this, the I thought about Melee. I thought about Super Smash Melee. Hold on, bro. Don't leave yet. It's about to get crazy. I was thinking about Melee because I was saying, like, it's the only thing that makes me really anxious still, and it also is a thing that I'm so. It pains me the most. It like causes me the most suffering. Like, to be bad at that game caused me the most suffering. And yes, like yesterday I talked about, because I put so many hours into the game, but what I realized is it's not necessarily that. It's that from my whole life I've conditioned myself. I was conditioned in a way that's like, you're so talented, and I didn't have to work hard for things. And then when I did have to work hard for things, when I got into later stages of high school and college, and then job and all this time, I like had to come to this truth, which is that, yeah, you're not that special and you're not so talented, but I still hold this identity that I am special and I am talented, and it's like, yes, everyone's special in their own way, but it's like I'm taking it in a way that's like there's this part of me, this deep rooted the truth of me, that I feel like I'm so special that like I don't abide by like natural laws of things, like the natural laws that you have to work hard for things, or that that like I can just like everything will come easy to me. But that's just not true. And when things didn't come easy to me, it rather than me looking at the mirror and facing that truth, like, oh shit, this is just something I have to work hard at, I just like stopped doing the thing. And then I kept bouncing and bouncing and trying to find things that I was naturally good at. And Melee was one of those things, but only to a certain extent. To get to that next level, it's gonna have to me face the mirror and be like, you're not that talented. Like, you gotta go on, right? And I and so for my whole life, I've been trying to like continuously find ways that prove that I'm special, I'm talented. And it's also the identity of being special and being talented shields me and almost gives reason, and like what's the word, like um it gives a justification and reasoning for my suffering, right? I suffered so much because I'm special. I suffer so much because I'm one of God's chosen people. Because the hardest battles are given to the strongest soldiers. That type of shit. That's why I had to suffer. And I'm special because my suffering makes me special, right? But that identity has gotten me to bad places, because when you identify with suffering and you think suffering is what makes you special, like I said the other day, it's like you're gonna keep your mind is now going to keep finding, when like I was talking about, when you say you need things, your mind's just going to find and find things in your reality that prove to you that you need stuff. And so as I continue to say, like, I'm special because of my suffering, then my mind is just going to keep finding ways for me to suffer, and then I will continuously manifest and prophesize things that will continue my suffering, because my suffering is what makes me special. And that is just this fucked up truth. It's not true at all. It's not. My suffering happened, and I'm just like a person. Like, and I got up, and I think like what makes me special in a way is just like the way I've ended my generational trauma, and I've spent a lot of time, you know, you know, back to the thing where things come easy and the talent thing. What didn't come easy and what came really hard was this, was was self-reflection, was emotional intelligence, was self-awareness. That did not come easy to me. I mean, I've been in therapy since I was 16 and I'm about to be 26. That's 10 years and it did not come easy. And I can finally say like there's things that I'm doing that's I'm working hard, and I really really worked hard on that. Like days of fucking suicidal ideation because like things are not changing, or times in therapy where I'm crying, I'm throwing up, I'm fucking about to give up. I literally got up and gave up a million times. This was my fifth therapist, right? And I learned things from each one, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm overcoming this aspect of specialness and talent, but there's still this 10% of me that needs to hold on to that identity because they feel so unworthy, right? And they feel so unloved, and and they have so much doubt and fear that the only way to overcome that is by believing they're special. Um, and back to the melee thing, it's like I've my ego is so attached to the melee thing, right? Because I have this entitlement where it's like I put in the hours, I should be good. But should is not reality when it comes to like things like this. There is no such thing as should. It's like I cannot be entitled. And I never really worked hard. Like I like to believe I worked hard in being good at this game, but I didn't. I just played the game. I played the game for over 10,000 hours, but that's not working hard. When you look at the people that are top 100, like the Zanes, he's playing 14 hours a day. He's doing a lot of solo practice. He's doing a lot of, reviewing his old matches, like looking at that, always learning, always growing. And for me, it wasn't that. It's like I'm gonna keep playing, and eventually I'll be good. And I don't because I'm so talented. I don't need to actually put in hard work because and because the ego is attached so much. And like Julianne was telling me yesterday before my tournament, that you're essentially a loser if all you care about is being the best, because that is just a way to stroke your ego. Being the best, you don't care about actually doing the thing. Do great painters care about being the best painter? They care about being the best painter for themselves, but not like the best painter in the world. Like it's when you care so much about being the best, you forget why you're even playing the game. You forget that you're even just doing this to have fun, that you're passionate about this thing. And because I cannot separate the ego from it, every time I lose, I come up, I just bash myself. I like destroy myself. I'm like, you're such a fucking idiot and piece of shit. And there's no objectivity to it because I can't look at myself with objectivity and be like, oh, it's because we were doing this thing. Every time the enemy was doing this, we were doing this. I can't look at the game with objectivity because my ego is so attached to it, and I'm so insecure about it, about being bad, that I can't be better because I care so much about being the best that I can't actually be the best, right? Because rather than objectively enjoying the game and like, oh, I could do this better here, I'm just like, holy shit, you lost, you're a fucking idiot, right? That's fucked. That attachment, the ego attachment to the game is what's fucking me, right? And I hold on, let me drink a little Culver's lemonade. And yeah, so there's multiple things happening right here, but the being special, the I'm talented, it kept me alive for a bit, and it helped me survive in my younger ages. But in my older ages, it's come as a deficit because I'm trying to move on to a more growth mindset that I can learn anything, I can do anything. It doesn't matter how talented I am. Talent doesn't beat hard work when hard work hard work beats talent when talent doesn't want to work hard or something like that, right? Like that's me. It's like I could be, and this is what I've proven with this, with therapy, with like my company, with trading. It's like I've just gritted my way through it, and I wasn't necessarily talented at it. I guess I have some sort of talent to like talking to people and making connections with others, but technical skills I'm terrible at, right? And I don't know if you guys are following along, but it's the same thing in trading too, and that's why I say trading is very spiritual, where it's like when I let God drive the wheel and make the trades for me, it's beautiful. Because what is God? God is patient. God has discernment, and there's no need. There's no FOMO with God, right? But as soon as my ego takes the driver's wheel, I'm fucking blowing accounts. I'm losing money, right? I'm getting into greed. I'm like, oh, let me take another trade. Let's take another trade. Oh wait, I missed this one. Let me do another one. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, actually, there's nothing I see here to take a trade, but I'm so bored. I'm gonna take a trade, right? And I'm trying to include. I'm now trying to include God and like, and once again, I always say this in every video. I'm not a Christian, bro. I'm not a Christian. I believe Jesus Christ is a real person, but I have my own relationship with with God, right? I have a personal relationship with God, right? But if you guys don't have a God, just like my first therapist said, bro, she said go find like something larger than you. She had clients that would go like talk to the ocean, you know, 'cause the ocean's moving, it's live. There's kinetic energy, right? And or go talk to the trees or whatever. Go talk to the mountain, right? So that's what I'm saying. I don't mean to alienate anyone by talking about God a lot, right? But in the end, it's like I'm trying to include God in everything because I need to let go of the ego. I need to surrender control and just move my feet. Just move my feet in trust, right? Because I would be good at the game by just being good at the game and playing the game and having that passion. But as soon as the ego enters, like what happened yesterday, like it was game 3. It's a best of 5. Game 3, I lost game 1. I won game 2. Game 3, I there's 4 lives you have in the game. I I I ended the game with 3 lives. I destroyed this guy, and he was like, he's the best Dr. Mario player in the world. And in my head, what the thought was, this guy is so fucking trash. And from that point on, I lost, right? The next 2 games. But it's only because like my ego came back in rather than being like, oh, this is fun. Like I'm having a good time playing this guy. My ego said this guy is so fucking trash, and then I started playing disrespectfully. I started playing lacklusterly. I lost what I was doing, right? And so that's what I mean by wanting to bring God into those and facets of my life, right? And also I think it helps with like, especially as a business owner, right? As my business begins to grow, and this is a really big business, and it's going to be in a field with a lot. There's a lot of corruption in the field in the industry I'm going into, and I already wrote down what my big no's are. Like when an investor wants to come and give me a shit ton of money and for a portion of my company, I'm gonna say no. When I get tired of my company and I want to get rid of it, I'm going to hire someone that I know, and I'm still going to be part of the board of trustees because I'm not going to sell it to private equity. Because what are they going to do? They're going to strip it clean and be fucking gross people. I have my ethics, I have my morals, and I think leaning on God kind of helps with that. Like staying grounded, staying true in one way, not being dynamic in your foundations, right? But anyways, this has been a yap fest. But all right, guys, girls, gays, queers, that was during all. Everyone, anyone, have a blessed rest of your Wednesday. I'll catch you guys on a beautiful Thursday. Toodaloo.